Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to look a lot different from my previous videos, and that is because I'm filming this video with my ring light, and hopefully the quality should be better. You can see the colors better. I'm so excited. I finally have a ring light, so that means I can film any time of the day. So yeah, I quickly wanted to address that. Now moving on to today's video, we are trying out this palette from Amazon. So I recently bought this palette from Amazon.in, and yesterday on Snapchat I asked you guys if you would like to see a first impressions on this palette. This is by a brand called as Seago Like. That's what it said on Amazon, but somehow it does not mention the brand name or anything on the palette itself. Instead it says Hua Milan Lee. I will insert the clips of the packaging and everything. So it comes in this black cardboard packaging, and you have the ingredients and everything over here, and I bought this in the shade 03. So they had, I think, 3 different variants in this palette, and I chose this. So once you open this out, you get this sort of a cardboard wrapping again, and this is how the palette looks like. It's a cardboard black casing, and then here are the shades. This is how the shades in the palette look like. So you have a few pinky tones, and then you have bronzy tones, and then you have a few matte eyeshadows. So I think the shade selection is amazing in this. So these are the shades I gravitate towards the most, and that is why I chose this particular shade, which is 03. So I have already swatched it. I wanted to do a first impression swatching plus video, but then I couldn't control. So I have already swatched these, and let me tell you, the shades are so buttery and pigmented. Let me swatch a few and show you guys. So first, let me swatch the beautiful gorgeous colors over here. This is my favorite out of the bunch, and hopefully you can see. Look at that, how pigmented that is, right? I'm so impressed. These feel so buttery and so soft to the touch. I have a lot of palettes. For example, I have a lot of Makeup Revolution palettes. I have their all matte eyeshadow palettes, and let me tell you, the mattes in this palette are smoother and more buttery than the Makeup Revolution one. I was not expecting this sort of quality, especially the feeling and the pigmentation. I was not expecting this at all from this palette. So this is the matte shade, and let me swatch this again. Of course, the mattes are not going to be as pigmented as the shimmery ones, but even then, I don't know if you can see, this is the matte color. Again, mattes are not that pigmented as the shimmery ones, but the pigmentation for the matte is pretty good when you compare it with other matte eyeshadows. So I will insert a swatch picture somewhere in the video, so you can see the exact swatches of all the colors in this palette. Also, this is not very inexpensive. For example, when I talk about Amazon finds, I'm always talking about inexpensive palettes. This was around 500 something. I will insert the exact price over here so you can see. I will also insert a picture of this palette, like how this actually looks on Amazon. So yeah, this is not very inexpensive, but then again, it has very good shade selection, so I thought of giving this a go. So without any further ado, let's start with the eye look. So firstly, I'm just going to tie my hair up in a bun. I cannot deal with how hot my room has become because of this ring light. But anyways, so after my hair is up in a bun, we are going to start with the eye makeup. So I already have my face makeup done. I think you can probably see, you can see my blush, my bronzer, my contour, everything so nicely, but I haven't set my under eyes. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is setting my under eyes, essentially baking, because I think these might give me a lot of fallout. So once we are done with the eye makeup, I can probably just, brush it off and the colors will be removed. And my concealer has already started creasing, so I'm just going to press my concealer with my finger or probably my beauty blender like this. And if you have like creasing underneath your eyes, what you can do is pull your under eye area like this and then place the powder. That is what I do. First thing I'm going to be doing is setting my eyes. Oh my god, there's a lot of fallout. It's very powdery, by the way, as you can see. Probably I should just hold it like this. Okay, there's a lot of fallout, so I think this brush is not the perfect to set. I'm going to grab a brush like this and then set my eyes with this shade. Again, my eye is creasing as well because I had concealer. It's setting very nicely. It's not looking powdery or chalky. A lot of matte eyeshadows look extremely chalky. So next I'm going to grab this shade, which is a very warm brown. Again, there's a lot of fallout because it's very powdery. Ooh, it's extremely powdery. So hopefully this should blend very well. And what you can do is, if you have eyes like mine, you can lift up your face like that, and then you can go ahead with your transition shade on your crease. That way everything looks so much better. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I've taken a fluffy brush like this because I want this to be a transition. I don't want this to be concentrated on my crease as such. I want this as a transition, if that is making any sense. So next I'm moving ahead onto this shade. This shade should probably give me more definition. It's much better than the previous one. So now that we are done with our transition color, I'm going to go ahead with the same shade, but this time around with a more precise brush on the crease. And I'm going to deposit this color on my crease to build up my crease a little bit more. Now that the crease and everything is done, I'm going to be taking a flat brush like this, damping it a little. I don't know if it is the word or the term is damping or dampening. Then I'm going to pick up this shade right here. And again, if you have my eye shape, what you can do is lift your head up like this so that you can see where you exactly want to place your lid color. What happens is, when you're doing this, you have this folding and that kind of comes in a way. So you don't exactly know where you should place. So what I have learned so far is the best way is to tilt your head up like this, so you have the room to place the color and see the exact location of your lid. This helps a lot. Starting off with, wow, that's very pigmented. Once you're done placing your lid color, what you can do is go ahead with the same color and carve out the area where your lid merges with your crease. So for example, this is the area where I want to define so that it looks like I have that much space in my lid. For example, if I'm doing this, you can see there comes this folding, but once I sort of like define it, you will see what I'm talking about. So once we are done with that crease, I'm going to take my Nykaa I Am Black Kajal and just scribble this on the outer V because I really want this to be dark and bold. And then I'm going to go ahead with this black on a brush which is very defined. So let's pick up this black. By the way, this is not a black one like a matte black. This is a very shimmery, not very shimmery, but again a shimmery black. Once it is decently blended, I'm going to go back with the same brown eyeshadow and blend everything out. Don't worry, we have lost a lot of pigment from this eyeshadow, but we are going to place that once more and just blend everything with that brown. I'm planning to add one more color just in the center of my lid, and I'm going to go ahead with this shade. It's a very beautiful bronzy sort of a shade, and I'm just going to go ahead with my finger and do that. So I think we are done with our upper eye makeup. I'm just going to use my Nykaa I Am Black Kajal
on both my lash lines.
So my camera just stopped recording. I don't know where did I stop. So what I was doing exactly was I smudging my lower lash line with this brownie shade. Then I'm going to grab this better definer brush, more precise one, and I'm going to pick up that same black eyeshadow from the palette, and we are going to smudge the outer half of our lower lash line. So this is the finished look. I absolutely love it. I didn't add any eyeliner just because I wanted this to focus more on lower lash line and my eyeshadow, but again, if you want, you can add your eyeliner, and I added just a little bit of mascara. You can add falsies as well. And for my lips, I have Naughty Nude and Taupe Thrill. Thrill is on top. So yeah, this is how it turned out. I absolutely love how this eye makeup has turned out. I didn't plan anything like this. I just went with the flow. I just picked up random shades and created this look. One thing I want to add is that a few shades, for example the darker ones, are quite powdery. If at all you're using this palette, make sure that you're doing your eyes first, especially if you're using this black shade, just to prevent any fallout. So yeah, I absolutely love this palette. I did not expect this sort of result out of this palette. I thought it's going to be, I basically bought this because I loved the color selection, and I don't have any palette which has a cardboard packaging, and I thought why not give this a try. So yeah, that completes this look. And if you guys like watching these sort of videos where I'm trying out a palette or anything for that matter, let me know. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.